The electric underground and overhead default pull-downs allow you to specify multiple defaults for components within the same feature class. For example, on the underground default pull-down, you have conductor and duct defaults for primary, secondary, and service lines. But what if you want more than one default for some other feature class? For example, you want to specify both the default pad-mounted transformer and the default volt-mounted transformer. The default pull-downs can now be configured through AUD options. So let's take a look at how the cables are currently configured. I'll run AUD options and expand the default profile. Here you can see all of the sections currently in the default pull-downs. I'll select the section for underground primary. Note on the right you can see that the display name is primary, which matches this field in the dropdown. The installation is still underground, which means it appears on the underground default pull-down, and the order is 1. 1 is an odd number, meaning that this information will appear in the left column, and since it's 1, it will appear as the first item. You can also see that the line type is set to primary. You're probably thinking, well, that makes sense, but ask yourself, why is this here, since we already know the section is called primary? Okay, just hold that thought. Now I'll select the section for underground service. Display name is service, fine. Installation is underground. And the order is 3. 3 is also an odd number, so this also appears in the left column, and since 3 is bigger than 1, it appears below the primary section. And the line type is service, and the line type keyword is service with the R capitalized. Okay, hold that thought as well. Now select the underground section. This section has structure and device defaults. The display name matches what you see in the pull-down, and the installation is underground, and there's no line type displayed here. Okay, the key here is the line type field. What's going on with this field? This field is called line type for historical reasons. In the original AUD implementation, the designers knew they'd want different defaults for different categories of conductor, primary, secondary, and service. So a field was added to support having multiple defaults within a feature class. But they were thinking conductor, and so this field was named line type. With the extensive improvements in AUD, this field can be used in other ways, but we're stuck with the name line type. But it might be easier to think of this more as a category field, meaning a category within one or more feature classes. So before I continue, let me just show you the menu macros that are inserting components for the conductors today. This is where the rubber meets the road. Here's the macro to insert the primary conductor with duct. Note the line type is listed as primary. Here's the macro for the secondary, with the line type listed as secondary. And here's the macro to insert the service conductor. The line type in this case is service. The key to selecting items from the same feature class where there are multiple default categories is to list the line type, i.e. the category, for the particular category in the macro. Okay, I'm going to return to AUD options, open up the default profile. Now I'm going to add a new member to this collection. I'll make the display name pad, the installation name is underground, and I'll make the order 6. And finally, I'll make the line type pad. And note how it adds it over here on the left, showing it as underground-pad. What goes in this new category? Now I'll click on the ellipsis to the right of collection. Here, I'll click on Add. I'll set the feature class I want to add to this new collection to be EL Transformer. Now, I don't want all the transformers to appear. I only want transformers suitable to mount on a pad to appear. So I'm going to set the display caption to Pad Mount Transformer, and then I'll select the Attributes collection and click on the ellipsis to the right. This attribute collection is where I can define filters to limit the displayed transformers. Here's a screen capture showing a subset of my transformer models. In this case, there's a number of transformers that I've identified as above ground and other transformers with a structure type listed as underground. So the field I want to use as a filter in this case is the structure type. Great. I'll click on Add. Under Name, I'll enter ID_structure_type. That's the internal name of the field. And I'll select the Values collection and click on the ellipsis. Here, I can enter 1 or 2 or more valid values. I'm going to enter 2. Why 2? Well, because if I look at the domain containing the structure type, the internal index value for the above ground transformer is 2. I'll click on OK and OK again, returning me to the list of feature classes to include in the pad category. I'll click on Add again. This time, I'll set the display caption to Xformer Pad and the feature class to EL Pad. For the sake of the demo, I'm going to assume I don't need any filters on the pads, so I'll just click on OK. Now I'm going to add one more section. I click on Add and then enter the display name as Vault. The installation is underground, so it appears on the underground default pull-down, and I'm going to set the order to 8, so it appears below the pads section. And I'll make the line type, i.e. the category, Vault. I'll select the collection and click on the ellipsis. I'll make my display caption Vault Xformer and set the feature class again to EL Transformer. Then I select the Attributes Collection field and click on the ellipsis. And again, I'm going to use the field ID Structure Type. But this time, I'm going to put in 3 for the value because this was the value for underground structures. I go back, and now I'm going to add one more feature class to this time with a caption of Xformer Vault and the feature class of EL Vault. And as with pads, I don't need any filters here, at least for my demo. I click OK until I'm done. Now let's look at the updated Electric Underground Defaults pull-down. You can see there are 2 new sections on the right side. And if I pull down the transformer choices within the pad group, only those beginning with U are listed, the ones that, in my configuration, were identified as above-ground transformers. I'll set the default to a 75 kVA model. And if I pull down the transformer choices within the Vault group, only those beginning with a V are listed, those identified in my configuration as underground transformers. I'll set this default to a 150 kVA model. But these defaults won't work until they're incorporated into the CUI, and in my case into the ribbon. I'll run the CUI editor and locate the commands associated with these items. Here's the command for inserting a pad with a transformer. It currently says that the line type is primary. I'll change that so the line type is pad. And now I'll access the command for inserting a volt with a transformer. Here it also says that the line type is primary. I'll change this one as well so that the line type is volt. Now, back in AUD, I'll try out my updated ribbon commands. First, I'll insert a pad-mounted transformer. Next, I'll insert a volt-mounted transformer. Now I'll start Quick Info and select both transformers. And here you can see in Quick Info that I have a 75 kVA transformer, the default I set for the pad-mounted transformer, and a 150 kVA transformer, the default that I set for the volt-mounted transformer. Let's summarize what's been covered in this video. First, new default categories, which internally are known as line types, can be created for any feature class. Any given feature class can then appear in multiple categories on the default pull-down screen. You can filter the models that appear in each category so that designers only seed valid choices for that category. And finally, the CUI macros, whether they be for toolbars or ribbons or whatever, need to correctly set the line type value in order to use the correct default.